Good morning, pregame crew. How are ya? Hope you're doing well. It is Wednesday, January 21st, VIX expiration. We have had a big down move. Started Sunday night with the tariff Greenland headlines, and it has continued to move down. Large time frames are still okay. Shorter term time frames, not so much. 4-hour bear flag breaking bear. I'll officially get started in 7.5 minutes. Between now and then, I'm going to say hello to my friends, do an audio visual check, and take a few chart requests. PLTR for Hunter. Good morning, Hunter. How are you? Hey, Shake and Bake. Yes, I like RR. It's one of the Queen of the Mountain trades. I like it. All right, so RR, double monthly inside bars. Well, we have a monthly inside bar confirmed, and we're still inside December's range. We have earnings in a week and a half, and we have a weekly equilibrium. Higher high, lower low, lower high, and now we're looking for a higher low inside this weekly equilibrium. Now, if I say take that off, you could also look for, and this is kind of wonky, a head and shoulders here on the weekly potential head and shoulders pattern. On the daily, I would call this a double bottom. 166.35, 166.24. I like PLTR as long as we're holding 166. I like PLTR long. As long as we're holding 166. We break that, I no longer like it long. We are inside this weekly EQ, and I would call it a weekly higher low, anything above 147.56. Let me look at it on shorter term time frames, 4-hour 12 EMA overhead. We're not breaking yesterday's low yet. Bulls need to change the 4-hour trend. All right, Gary RR, I like it. It's one of the Queen of the Mountain names. So RR, we have a weekly equilibrium, higher high, higher low, lower high, higher low. We are getting some upper wicks here on these last 3 weekly candles. On the daily, we broke 420 and then got a big upper wick of profit taking. We have a daily squeeze. We're holding the daily 50 MA, and we have a high compression squeeze on the 4-hour. These orange dots means things are getting tight there. So the problem with RR is we're opening up, let's see, in the middle of yesterday's very large range. An inside day is possible today. So just keep that in mind. Today may not be the day trade day. It could have an inside day, but this 4-hour is building pressure, and I like it. Hey, Rachel. Hey, Nathaniel. Hey, Al. Sure. CCJ. There's nothing bearish about new all-time highs. Daily inside bar yesterday. We are opening up inside that range. We have an hourly tightening range testing the 12 EMA, support 114.52, resistance 118 and 118.29. It looks great. I would keep it on back burner watch. When you've got a name breaking out to new all-time highs, you can look for pullbacks for buying, look for shorter term oversold conditions to potentially find a long to stay with the trend. RCAT, I believe, is in the same RR world, not sure. What was the other name? D-Pro, I think that's a drone name. That's not robotics. But D-Pro had some standout volume yesterday. I was just trying to think along the lines of momentum sectors with small caps that are showing some momentum. Yes, I will start out with analysis of ES and NQ. Absolutely. ASPE. ASPE is rejecting at the daily 200 MA. On the monthly, we're looking for a lower high. On the weekly, we have inside bars. And on the daily, we have an equilibrium. 691 is key support, resistance 793 and 808. 808 kick drum. We're below the 4-hour 12 EMA. When you see that misdirection on shorter term time frames, and you can see this here, where we're going down, up, and we just have misdirection. You look at the higher time frames and we have inside bars, which typically mean we have the tightening range and volume dries up, i.e. liquidity goes away, and then we get misdirection on shorter term time frames. 720 is your key support from yesterday. Netflix is down on earnings. 80.50 is current support. We have this monthly support of 82.11. We're losing that. Your next support is down at 74.78. Earnings names can get a lot more extended than you think they can. You're thinking, okay, RSI is 11 on the hourly. I'm going to buy this. And it absolutely can bounce. But you need evidence of friends with you on the trade because you're completely counter trend. And being extended, and I say that in quotation marks, extended to the downside is not a reason into itself to buy. So 82.11, if bulls can reclaim that during regular trading hours, that would be a good sign. Bears have full control of Netflix right now. ACHR. ACHR, we're getting upper wicks, upper wick, upper wick, upper wick, upper wick. Bears selling into pops. Daily higher low is likely compared to 815. It does have a nice daily squeeze. When I just see let me draw it. When I see this type pattern, I know to look for a potential monthly or a potential bear flag on a higher time frame. You're getting tiny higher highs without follow through, so I would be cautious. Right now you have this 4-hour tightening range below the 4-hour 12 EMA. Good job, Chris. Good morning, Walter. Hey, Kevin Bacon. Miska, EB Canada, Nathaniel, Big Moda, Green Lady. Thank you all for being here. I appreciate it. Let's get started officially. Good morning. Welcome to the pregame show. This is who I am. I'm Chart Gal Lori. I'm part of the Chart Guys community, and we teach technical analysis. If you want to give me a follow at Chart Gal Lori on X, I would appreciate it. What I do here on Wednesday mornings for the public, I go through about 25 charts in 25 minutes. My goal is to get you ready for the trading day. This is just a warm up and kind of a taste to see what you get when you're a member of our community. I go live with our community in 30 minutes and I take them through the market open. Any trades that I see, I take live. We have success. It's not 100% success. We're not that type of room. We don't claim those type of numbers, but we are successful in our live trading. Overall, we're more bearish than bullish. When this number is over 100, this bearish scale, and this is the Market Environment Dossier table. This is a table that I came up with to say, okay, what variables do I think are super important to the market that I need to analyze every morning to get a taste or a feel for the flavor of the market, and it's bearish. When it's over 100, we like to look for reverse back burners, meaning looking for overbought conditions to potentially short. Bears have control. And I like looking at this map. I've kind of added it to my process. I like the heat map during the day, but I also have started looking at it pre-market to just kind of see what's standing out. You can see XLE names are green. We've got SMH green. So SMH and energy are standing out. Today, let's go look at charts, my favorite. I absolutely adore charts. All right, so on the weekly, I would call this one fluid motion. So we're looking for a potential weekly higher low compared to 6771.50. And I should mention that President Trump is speaking at Davos today, and also next week is back up. So we have Trump speaking today and VIX expiration. VIX expiration can lead to a lot of volatility. This is where folks are taking off contracts and repositioning for the next month. So this is monthly expiration of VIX today. And a lot of times in the morning, we have volatility the first half of the day as folks are taking VIX contracts off and repositioning for the forward month. All right, next week we have FOMC interest rate decision and we have big earnings. Netflix, of course, is big earnings, but it's only 2% of QQQ and 0.6% of SPY. Netflix does not have a huge impact on the overall market. Names like Apple, Amazon, Microsoft. Next week, those have a huge impact to the market. So next week is the Super Bowl of weeks, which this happens I would say 4 times a year, maybe, where we have FOMC and the mega earnings all in the same week. So this feels volatile. This feels like a big shakeup. Next week could be even more so. So what we do have going on today, VIX expiration, now that we've set the stage. On the daily, I just want to point out, we lost the daily 50 MA on ES. That's important. We could be forming a broadening formation. I only like to make note of patterns if they're actionable. And I don't think a broadening formation with 2 points is actionable. I know it's not actionable. So I just want to make a mental note. Look for that later, potentially. But right here, right now, what is important is we lost that daily 50 MA. Bounces are for shorting, looking for I feel like I'm screaming. If I'm screaming, let me know. We're looking for a daily lower high, and we just got our 4-hour lower high. Look what just broke bear. Bear flag on the 4-hour broke bear. Look where we rejected yesterday, the 4-hour 12 EMA. 15-minute overbought conditions is where we start looking for 4-hour lower highs. So on the daily, we're looking for a lower high. 4-hour, we just set the lower high. The question is this a 4-hour bear break without a lot of follow through? That remains to be seen. Remember, we need friends with us on the trade. And right now, and I normally don't go this shorter term time frame on pregame, but this could be happening here, a little 2-minute inverse head and shoulders. Right now, SPY is gapping down. In Q, we're below yesterday's low. We lost the daily 50 EMA last week, yesterday more notably. 4-hour, we rejected at the 12 EMA. We just broke bear flag on the 4-hour. Notice the RSI on NQ. We're at 32. We're not that beat up on NQ. So buying dips is fun. Being counter trend and looking for mean reversals or mean reversions, they're fun, but they're difficult. It's much easier to trade in a trend. And I read what Joey had a show, I believe 2 weeks ago in our room that was really good. And Rav broke it down in bullets. And he was saying, it's kind of like having a net catch you when you are with the trend. It is more forgiving of entries. When you're looking for reversals, it is not forgiving at all. You have to have amazing accuracy or you will get churned up and spit out. RTY is looking better than the other indices. We're still inside yesterday's range, looking for a daily higher low. Not gapping down. This is IWM here. We're in the middle of yesterday's range. Closer to actually not in the middle, closer to the low than the high, but Russell is holding up better. We're looking for a weekly higher low on the Dow. The Dow is approaching the daily 50 MA. This is important, very important. Approaching the daily 50 MA. And look at the 4-hour here. We're more beat up on the Dow. Our 4-hour RSI is 25. Where NQ, it's 32. So Dow is pretty beat up down here. SMH is bouncing better than other tech names. We have a tightening range here on SMH. SMH, can it be the hero? We need a hero. Can it be SMH? You're welcome, Miska. You like it when I scream? Hey, Dad's weekend win for you. Awesome, Chris. Good job. Great job. VIX is telling us a story. The story is fear has re-entered the market, derp, and we're over the 250 MA on the daily. On the weekly, we have a higher high. So we have VIX expiration today. So let's see if I would anticipate the morning to be more volatile, and the afternoon we get more of a clear direction, but we'll have to wait and see. And I was on the fence about this morning. I guess if I'm on the fence, I shouldn't share it with y'all. But VIX, market bulls would love for this to be a head and shoulders on VIX and for it to break bear. $21 is important on VIX. Go ahead and set an alert there. I want to know if it breaks bull. I use VIX to find potential reversal areas in the indices. Hang Seng was green overnight. DAX is currently red. Bitcoin is barely green. It got the schnozzle beat out of it yesterday. Look at this potential monthly bear flag on Bitcoin. Look where we rejected at the monthly 12 EMA at the 0.382 retrace. This bear flag is still viable for Bitcoin. We rejected at the weekly 12 EMA. You see how you get these tiny higher highs without follow through? It makes you go look for that bear flag on the higher time frame. On the daily, we broke support. We lost the daily 50 EMA. So 4-hour 12 EMA is your bear guide. Look at the distance, but I'm very wordy this morning. I apologize. Look at the distance between price and the 4-hour 12 EMA on Bitcoin. It just shows the momentum that the bears have on Bitcoin. Ethereum, look at that air pocket between price and the 12 EMA on the 4-hour. Potential monthly bear flag there. Dollar is weak. Very weak. I'm trying to find something to say besides weak. Potential 12-hour bear flag. Oil is having another leg up. We should have oil inventory today. I don't think it was moved due to the holidays. I don't think. Please check that if you're trading oil. Oil got a 4-hour higher high. This is a nice rounded bottom of bulls buying the dip. Look at this high compression squeeze on oil. Oil is ready to do some damage. And who will the damage be to, bears or bulls? That remains to be seen. Oil is looking good. Nat gas is looking great. Nat gas ripped off some faces yesterday and overnight. We were up 20% yesterday. We're up 20% today. $5 is resistance. We hit 495. If you want to see a short squeeze, look at these candles. Look at that momentum and look at this volume that's coming in at 11 o'clock last night. This is a short squeeze. I mentioned the shorts on Nat Gas. I don't know if y'all remember a few years back where they had all of those hedge funds blew up shorting Nat Gas. It's called naughty gas for a reason. It's called the Black Widow for a reason. Hourly 12 EMA is your bull guide. Gold, new all-time high. What else is there to say? Buy dips until it stops working. Oh, that new article. Thanks, Rav. I loved it. I actually said I was going to go back and listen to the video. I didn't. I just read the article that Rav just put in chat right here. Right here, he put it in chat. And I just read the article and got some great tidbits. I've been trading for over 10 years now, and I really had some great takeaways. Joey, I love the way Joey thinks. He can be very profound, and the way he says things are unique. Sometimes it's not everyone's meant to be a teacher, and Joey is an amazing teacher. So check that article out. So gold, you can keep on back burner watch. Silver, we have this 4-hour equilibrium grinding the 4-hour 12 EMA. I just see it as a baton. Like this is a, what do you call that? A relay. And right now gold has the baton and silver is waiting to get the baton back. I wouldn't be surprised to see silver at $100 in the next few weeks, but we shall see. There will be a top in metals, but I'm not here to predict it. NVDA, potential 4-hour bear flag. I'm going to tag that, pin that article. Let's see, right here. I'm going to pin that article that Rav shared right there at the top of the chat window. Check that out. So potential 4-hour bear flag on NVIDIA. We are looking for a weekly higher low. And this does have head and shoulders type psychology here. I'm not all turned by that. I am just focusing on this part of the chart. We're looking for a weekly higher low compared to 170. Daily is in a downtrend and potential 4-hour bear flag. And what I have in my brain is NVIDIA is a $4.3 trillion company. Okay, right here, 4.33. When I was beating the drum, was it back here? No, it was in 2003. Right here, my birthday, when I went all crazy with that little head and shoulders pattern. You can see it here. Little head and shoulders that broke bear by $1. This was pre-split. Broke bear and then zoomed higher because we had a bull flag on a higher time frame. Okay, back here, this was a $1 trillion company approximately. I'm just spitballing here, rough approximation. So we're buying a $1 trillion company here for it to potentially go to $4 trillion. I don't know that I want to be a buyer of NVIDIA here at $4 trillion. This was from $40. This was a 5x move from here to here. What is the likelihood that NVDA goes 5x move from here to here over the next 3 years? That would be tougher. To be a $20 trillion company, that would be tougher. So NVDA is slowing down. It's a great company, not saying it isn't. It's just that type of exponential move may be done. Tesla, we're looking for a weekly higher low. Let me slow down here. We're looking for a weekly higher low, or actually I need to go faster. Daily loss support, 4-hour oversold. 4-hour oversold, looking for a weekly higher low. Tesla could be a buy here. Let's see. Let's make bulls show up. Apple, it's Queen of the Mountain trades. Apple, we're looking for a monthly higher low. There's nothing wrong with this chart. Nothing on Apple. We have earnings next week. On the weekly, we're pulling back, not great. On the daily, RSI is 18. Look where we are here. We are at historical RSI bounce spot. This is TCG historical RSI proprietary indicator, and we are at historical bounce area for Apple. So I like Apple long for a potential bounce play, and we have to be careful on these bounce plays. If the market's not pulling in our direction, it could rip our faces off. And we may have to get VIX expiration morning out of the way before we can look for a bounce play. But I like Apple long, looking for a monthly higher low. And this may take days for it to work. So we have to just wait for the appropriate entry and location. Amazon, the next queen of the mountain trade, we're looking for a daily higher low here, daily. All right. And we're almost 4 hour oversold. RSI is 31. Hourly is no longer oversold. We've bounced. But if we can get 4 hour oversold and still be above 22470, I like that for a potential long. Amazon and Apple, I like long, but with an asterisk, we have to be careful with this idea. CMG, I think I drew this trend line on the 3-day. On the 3-day here on CMG, look at this trend line. It's pretty clear, very clear. On the weekly, we're looking for a lower high. We have a weekly inside bar. Last week's low is 38.69. On the 4 hour, I like a bounce to short on CMG. Looking for a bounce into the 4 hour 12 EMA, looking for a weekly lower high for it to potentially break this trend line to the downside. Elva, yeah, Intel's not following the others, neither is MU or SNDK. Elva. Elvis is in the building. Elva is a tremendous mover. Look at this. This has been straight up. I like Elva for a back burner trade. It has had great moves. I'm just looking at it as pure. This is a great chart, bullish chart. Look for back burners to play, and it's fairly detached from the indices because it's not heavily weighted, so it can do its own thing. Rivian, we're getting to extremes here in Rivian. Weekly, we're looking for a higher low, and we have a double bottom attempt here at 1573, 1586, looking for a weekly higher low, 4 hour oversold. I like Rivian for a potential bounce play, and RR, we have a weekly EQ. I don't love these upper wicks of profit taking on the weekly. On the daily, we have a double bottom, 367. We held the daily 50 MA. We have a daily squeeze. Whoa, where's earnings? Looks like they were supposed to have earnings yesterday and didn't. This is a high compression squeeze on RR. A squeeze just means pressure's building. It can break out or break down. It's not a directional indicator. It just tells you pressure's building. I like RR. Today may not be the day. We have an hourly EQ here. And we're right in the middle of yesterday's range. This may take another day to develop, but I like RR for a potential long as long as it's holding 367. All right, thank you for being here. I almost ran over. I'm going to say goodbye and go get ready for the community live stream in 10 minutes. Thank you for being here. Invite your friends next week. Hit the like button, please. Hit the subscribe button, hit the notify button, hit a button, and use stop losses.